You're listening to the Plane Talking UK podcast, the UK-based podcast written by a passenger for anyone. And here are your hosts, Carlos Stebbings, Matt Smith and Neville Bounds.
Well, hello and welcome to episode number 219 of the Plane Talking UK podcast.
You're right there.
I'm not stressed at all. It's me, Carlos, here, and we are actually officially in the new PT UK studio.
We are indeed, and we needed to adjust your camera before we started, but there we are.
There we go.
Mind, it'll do.
There we go. We are actually in a new studio. For those of you guys watching on YouTube, you can see this is the new studio. You can't quite see all around the studio.
I see we've missed a bit of black paint.
We do need some black paint on the hinges on the door there.
Okay, very good. Yes.
But apart from that, this is all lovely soundproofing here. You can probably see here.
Absolutely.
Yes, very good. And joining me, the opposite side of the new desk, is Matt Smith. Hello, Matt.
He says he's stressed. He's got no idea, ladies and gentlemen. It was just I've been in here for 2 days solid. It's just been fine. But oh my goodness, I'm so glad we're finally in here.
I know.
We're finally in here, and I will towards the end of the show I will get the Wi-Fi camera up and running so that we can show everybody what the studio
looks
side,
like,
if you know what I mean, looks like. But we've held these amazing guests up long enough. So
I know.
We need to
so we're going to introduce our guests just before they go. So we are going to welcome back onto the show the Queen, the Princess, the star of APG. It is Dr. Steph.
Well, hey guys, glad to be here with you. I've got about 9 minutes left on my allotted time that I've been paid for today's show, so should be good. No, I'm just kidding, of course. Planning on being here for the duration, and glad that I could be here for your inaugural show in the
indeed. Actually, in some respects, it's as I say, I think we're just going for the title of latest start. I think
we're happy to hand that back over to you.
We're the winners.
You'd like to carry that crown around for a while.
It's been a proud day. Yeah, absolutely.
And also joining us today, all the way from Sweden. From Sweden.
Yeah,
and he's our regional pilot guy. And welcome back to the show. It is Stuart O'Neill.
Hello. From Sweden.
Yes, hello from Sweden. You can tell that Stuart doesn't do a lot of podcasting, can't you? I
don't know about the etiquette for this.
Yes. More than one word answers essentially is that.
Actually, Stuart, how's the flying going?
Yeah.
Are you still you enjoying the Embraer?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, cruising around Europe. Lots of exciting trials and tribulations. Nothing too scary yet.
And have you nailed the all-important cabin talk speech thing?
Yeah, the cabin PA announcements.
Yes.
Sometimes, but recently we've had flights that are just 20 minutes long, so there's not really much time for
Right, okay. You haven't got time to faff around, essentially, yeah.
We are going to have to book a flight at some point, Matt.
We are,
just to fly with Stuart somewhere within Europe.
No, I've been up in the caravan. That's the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my entire life.
It was for me too. Trust me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially after the last jumper jumped out of the door.
Yeah.
Oh, so we are.
He knows how to land. Let's put it that way.
He does know how to land that thing. That's for sure. So it is the 3rd of June. It is Sunday. It is just coming up towards 5 to 4 on the Sunday afternoon here in the UK, and we're going to welcome everyone who has.
4 o'clock was the time we were going to start. Right?
I know.
Yeah.
Everyone who's still with us in the chat room. Thanks for you guys.
They're so loyal. I'm just so pleased with them. Yeah.
We had a slight issue, obviously, before we started the show with the network cable that runs from one end of the barn, because the barn is very big. It's a very big barn.
Yeah.
It's very, very
big. We are
big.
in the completely opposite end to the barn that we have been doing the show from.
Yeah.
But so
but it's all sorted now. We are fully interneted up. So welcome into the chat room, everyone who's joined us. We've got loads of names: Mariana, Andrew Wilson. We've got Miles in the chat room. Barbara Parish, Neil Lamwarn's also in the chat room. Just scrolling up, Neville Bounds is in the chat room, and we have we heard of him. Yeah. Just scrolling up.
In fact, actually, to be fair, Nev has been supplying last-minute tech support in regard to the fantastic mixer that he's very kindly donated to the studio.
And on that note of Mr. Neville Bounds, you can obviously tell that Nev's not with us this week.
No.
He is
In Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
I know.
He's
Jeff says he's still here.
yeah, he's in Las Vegas.
No, Captain Jeff has just said still here.
and Captain Jeff is still there as well. Well done, Captain Jeff. But no, Nev's in Vegas. He's on a works trip. Rubbish. He's not betting at all.
Come on. No need for that. He's gone there for the same thing that he and I went to.
What, gambling?
No, not gambling. No. Nev,
no one goes to Vegas for gambling.
No. Nobody can afford it. No, Nev is a saint. He wouldn't dream of doing such awful things, surely.
No, not at all. All on black, Nev, number 12.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's your all your Patreon.
That's his stock position. Yeah, oh dear.
Yeah, so I hope you're enjoying yourself, Nev, and hopefully we'll get Nev across here to the Barn studio at some point soon to join us here.
Well, he's got one or two things in the diary for the next few weeks, so he will be missing for a couple of weeks, I think, won't he? While he does something. Some kind of marriage thing. Anyway. So we've got loads of news to get through this week, and we're going to trawl through that in a second. We've also got a segment from Pip this week. Yeah, we've got a segment. We haven't got
a segment from Pip. We haven't got a segment from Pip.
No, because it's half term.
Oh, it's half term.
Yes, so he hasn't been flying this week.
He's not been flying. But we have got a teaser trailer from all the best bits that we got from Brunty last weekend. Me and Nev, as you know, went to Bruntingthorpe last week for the Cold War Jets Day, the taxi run Jets Day. It's a brilliant day out, fantastic day, really well organised. First time there for us and all of us, really. And it was a great day. The weather was fantastic. Me and Nev both got burnt to a crisp.
Right. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Ding!
I was incredibly unpopular when I got back home because Gemma said, "Why didn't you wear sunscreen? I put it in your bag."
Right, okay.
Oops. I mean, it had a good journey there. It just didn't
lovely.
Come out
had a safe journey in the TriStar van. Yes.
Yeah, but no, we had a great day there. And obviously, the teaser trailer bit will come up later on the show for you all to watch to give you an idea of what we have got coming, because we got I think it's 6 or 7 really good interviews.
Oh wow, God, you really did have a busy time.
Yeah, and one of those particular interviews was with someone who flew the Victor tanker all the way down to the Ascension Islands during the Black Buck mission. So that will be coming up in a later episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are going to start the show then, as we do each week, with our rundown of the weekly news from around the world and the UK.
Do we have to? I was so busy enjoying chatting.
Just don't jinx it, Matt. So if you're ready, Matt.
Oh, obviously, yes.
Thank you.
I haven't had a stressful afternoon.
I'm guessing you're ready, Steph.
Yep, been ready.
Stu? Hello?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, let's go. Just push the button, Matt.
Just press the button.
So, kicking off this week's first news story in the news studio, just putting your dropping that one in here. It's on the money.cnn.com website, and the headline: India tried to sell its national airline, but it got no bids.
Oh dear.
Oh.
That's very sad.
So India has failed to find a buyer for its ailing national airline. Selling Air India was one of the government's economic priorities this year, and the failure of the auction will dampen hopes that it could privatise the state-owned companies. Bidding for the national carrier closed on Thursday without a single prospective buyer coming forward.
Oh dear.
As informed by the transaction advisor, no response has been received for the expression of interest floated for the strategic divestment of Air India. The Indian Ministry of Civil Aviation said on its official Twitter account the government put Air India on the auction block last year and was offering bidders the chance to buy a 76% stake in the business. It wants to scale back taxpayer support for an airline that has lost money for years. The auction deadline had already been extended in the hope that a buyer would come forward, and the future of the indebted carrier is now very uncertain. Air India declined to comment, referring to the matter of the ministry. Aviation Ministry officials did not respond to requests for comment. Despite its losses and growing competition from budget carriers such as SpiceJet and Indigo, Air India is still a major player in an aviation market that is projected to be the world's third biggest by 2026. But buyers were put off by Air India's enormous debts, a mere $7 billion in debt, the airline was. The government wanted the new owner to take on at least $5 billion billion of that debt.
Wow.
The Centre for Asia Pacific Aviation, or CAPA, an aviation consultancy, estimated that Air India could lose another $2 billion in the next 2 years.
Wow.
So it's safe to say then the story does go out. It's safe to say that Air India's in a spot of bother, I suppose. They can't find a buyer. And it's quite surprising because I know Air India has brought a few new aircraft over the last few years, including the Dreamliner, which they fly over here to the UK as well. But not an airline I've flown on. Not had the experience of flying on Air India, but it's a shame they can't find a buyer. Unless anyone's got a few quid.
$7 billion in debt is...
That's quite a number, isn't it?
Yeah, that would make me rethink taking that on, too.
It's more than a couple of cups of coffee, isn't it, certainly?
Yeah,
it's more than several houses, in fact. Yes. Absolutely.
You not got a spare $5 million down the back of the sofa, Stu?
No, of course not. Maybe 7 million rupees or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, at the current exchange rate, that's what, a fiver? Something like that.
So moving on to the next story then, Matt. It's one of your favourites. It's one of your favourites.
Oh, yes, story 2, which can mean one thing and one thing only. It means, now, I don't know, is this a nice story about said airline? Because obviously I haven't read the show notes, I should just stress that. No, just because I'm getting on one of their aeroplanes tomorrow, I don't want to be stopped at the gate by someone.
Oh no, well you better read this then, because they're changing
special security screening.
Yeah, absolutely. An extra special security screening,
including a rubber glove. Anyway, carry on.
Oh dear, family show. Anyway, this is on the Telegraph family show, Carlos, please, family show. The Telegraph travel website, and it says its obsession with fares its obsession with making fares cheap has ruined what made Ryanair great. In efforts to keep headline fares down, Ryanair has got caught in its own marketing web. Last week, the CEO, Michael O'Leary, complained publicly that the airline is facing problems because so many of its passengers have been choosing to avoid paying an additional £5 priority boarding fee, £10 for a return fare, that they are causing handling issues. The fee is what you have had to pay Ryanair since January to be sure that you can take your hand luggage above a certain size with you in the cabin. Those who don't pay the priority fee have larger bags taken off them at the gate and put in the hold. There is no extra charge for this, although obviously you may get held up waiting for them at the carousel on arrival. According to O'Leary, up to 120 cabin bags are now having to be put in the hold on busy flights. You might think that the obvious solution to this problem would be to reduce the fee. Then more people would surely seem more prepared to pay up for the sake of greater convenience of keeping their hand luggage with them. But despite the problem highlighted by O'Leary this week, it emerged that the airline has recently increased many of its priority boarding fees. No announcement was made, but when we did a spot check on several routes, the fee being charged had risen from £10 to £12 on a return fare. Other extras are also prone to higher rates on routes. This week we found plenty of examples of fees applying to some flights that are much higher than the fees quoted on the website. Seat selection at £10 rather than the £4 minimum extra legroom seats from £20 rather than £15, and checked-in baggage at £35 each way, up from the lowest charge of £25 quoted on the fees pays. Now, to be fair, they have done that quite a lot before, because it probably says on that page when you look at it, hand luggage or hold luggage from only £25. So there must be it depends a bit on the routes, but it seems odd to be complaining about the fact that people are avoiding your fees.
Yeah, so just to be clear, they charge you for a checked bag in the hold, but then also there's a charge for priority boarding to make sure that your hand luggage stays with you.
I think.
No.
Go on, Stu.
No.
You would pay to check in your bags, but then they had too many people carrying their bags on.
Right.
Yeah.
So they decided to change it round and take everyone's bags off them, and then charge them to carry them on. That way they could unload and offload passengers quicker.
Gotcha. Yeah, because most airlines kind of have had that problem recently with all the checked bag fees. Everyone just brings bags that they can bring on, and it takes forever to load bags.
To sort of get load bags and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is what Michael O'Leary's complaining about, because before he didn't have to pay those fees, and now he's got, as it just says, 120 bags a flight now. So he's now paying 120 bags for ground handlers.
Yes, of course.
That he didn't do previously. So now he's probably quite upset.
Yes, okay. He's actually losing money. Yes, indeed.
But my question was, to be clear, you can still actually pay just to check your bag.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Although it's £10 more than they're reporting it, essentially. Gotcha. So the website's saying it's 25 quid, but on some flights apparently it's being 35. But then, to be fair, if it says from, and you see, this is the only thing that everybody's sort of like, oh no, well that's, you get what I call the nasal brigade, where they're saying, oh well, this is not on, you can't really do things like that. But it's still cheaper than virtually every single other airline.
Oh yeah.
Even if you add those additional fees. So, just like put up or shut up, really.
Anyway, money.
You can tell I'm going on a Ryanair flight tomorrow, can't you?
I mean, there are other fantastic regional airlines in the UK that you can use.
Well, that's true,
isn't there, Stuart?
Yeah. But
he doesn't know of any, but yeah. Well, a lot of pilots. I noticed. I think when we were talking to did he mention? I'm sure he said it in his MPE1. That first thing that the what's his name? Forgotten his name. That's awful. Pilot Pip. That's terrible. I'm so sorry.
Yes, Pip.
The legend that is Pip.
Never heard of him.
No, I know. Didn't he do a flight with Ryanair? Aren't they doing positioning flights or something like?
Yes.
They get from one side to the other, and they're now using the low cost airlines, EasyJet and Ryanair, and all that kind of thing.
With the positioning flights that you have, Stuart, do you use your own airline, or do your airline put you on other airlines?
No, they put us on other flights. Yeah.
Oh, right,
EasyJet. Okay. I haven't been on a Ryanair. KLM.
Yeah.
Normally just whoever else is flying that route and is quickest.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
So moving on to the next story, and Steph, do you want to take this one?
I would be happy to take this one. This
bit of a smelly story.
Oh dear.
Yeah, this one's from Newsweek, newsweek.com. The headline is "Smelly Airline Passenger Forces Emergency Landing as Fellow Travelers Vomit and Faint." So a passenger jet was forced into an emergency landing on Tuesday as panicked travelers fainted in their seats and vomited in the aisles. Although it may sound like the opening scene of an apocalyptic pandemic movie, the emergency landing was actually forced by a passenger who smelled as if he hadn't washed for several weeks, the Dutch newspaper Die Telegraaf reported. The Dutch Transavia Airlines flight was heading to Amsterdam from the Spanish island of Gran Canaria off the coast of northwest Africa. But before it got there, passengers began to gag and became violently ill.
Ew.
From the moment he stepped on the aisle, people began to scream and dived into their bags looking for handkerchiefs to keep in front of them. Passenger Piet van Hot told Die Telegraaf. Cabin crew tried in vain to cover the stench with perfume, but that made it smell so much better. But nothing could mask it. Van Hout explained to Belgian news website VRT, "It was such a huge stench. The smell made me think that the man hadn't washed for weeks." The crew eventually moved the man to sit in the toilet at the back of the plane to try and protect his fellow passengers from the smell. However, even that wasn't enough, forcing the pilots to make an emergency landing in Faro, Portugal.
Wow.
The man was then handed over to a waiting ambulance and medical team before the flight continued on to its destination. Transavia confirmed that a man had been removed from the flight for medical reasons.
Medical reasons?
But it is indeed right that he smelled quite a bit.
Right.
To your weekly news.
That's. I mean, I know what they mean. I know what they mean though in regard to the smell, because I remember there was I did a flight to this was before my fear sort of kicked in really, and I remember doing a flight all the way to New Zealand, and we did I think it was a stop at Kuala Lumpur, and when we went from Kuala Lumpur on to then New Zealand, and it was about I think somebody threw up, like a little kid basically just threw up right in the aisle, right next to me, because that always happens, around about sort of 2.5 hours before the end of the flight, and they came and cleaned it all up and all that, but they tried to mask the smell with the eau de toilette, the really unpleasant stuff that's in the toilet that you're allowed to use for free.
You mix one strong unpleasant stench with another strong unpleasant,
indeed,
or maybe even pleasant stench,
it
doesn't always equal something that you want to smell.
No, indeed. No, it's just awful, really. It is your worst nightmare, isn't it?
Apparently
they made everyone on the plane sick.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been.
Apparently, it was so bad they were supposed to serve food and drink, but they decided not to.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, you think it's a shame it wasn't. Well, is it Emirates, the one with the shower on board? I mean, could you not sort of insist that he went and had a shower? For the sake of everyone else.
No? Apparently, no shower on this aircraft.
Oh, no, not on the 73.
They show a 73-800. I don't know what else they fly, but.
Oh, could have doused some bottles of water from the emergency water supply on him or something.
I mean, with
put him
flights,
in the tally, wash him down.
With flights getting ever more longer now, you've got not 17, 18, 19-hour flights. Some of these longer ones now, long-haul flights across to Australia and that. You wouldn't want to be sitting next to someone for that long who's got a slight.
Actually,
smell.
I went to go and see a comedian by the name of Mo Gilligan at the Playhouse.
Did he smell?
No, he was fine. He smelled very fragrant. But there was a gentleman who was the row in front of me and Tom, about 5 or 6 seats along, and when he got up to go and get a drink at half time, it was the most awful smell I've ever smelt in my entire life, coming from a human being. And one that's capable of washing. I mean, you sort of expect like little babies to smell unpleasant sometimes, but
some people you can look at and you go, you're just choosing not to.
Yeah, you're choosing to be minging. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
indeed. Anyway, sorry,
this story stinks. Let's move on to the next one.
Oh dear.
So, Stu, this is for you on aviationpros.com.
Surprise, surprise, it's an Embraer story.
Oh, shock.
So, aviationpros.com. Embraer Legacy 450 sets a transatlantic speed record between the United States and Europe. Geneva, Switzerland, May 30th, 2018. Embraer's Legacy 450 medium cabin business jet set a new speed record on a recent flight between Portland, Maine in the United States and Farnborough in the United Kingdom. According to the US National Aeronautic Association, the record-setting flight occurred on March the 7th with 2 pilots and 2 passengers on a ferry flight of Embraer's new Legacy 450 demonstrator, which debuted at the European Business Aviation Conference and Exhibition in Geneva. With new seat designs and the lowest cabin altitude in its class, only 5,800 feet, the flight departed at 9:25 a.m. from Portland International Airport and landed at Farnborough at 8:30 p.m., achieving an average speed of 521.89 miles per hour. And they put that in kilometres as well, 840, just to make it sound bigger. The Legacy 450 landed with fuel reserves in excess of those required for NBA IFR, as well as for critical operations. The flight lasted 6 hours and 5 minutes, covering a distance of 2,756 nautical miles. The Legacy 450 has a full range capability of 2,904 nautical miles with 4 passengers and the IFR reserves, and it can operate at up to Mach 0.83 with an altitude ceiling of 45,000 feet. The aircraft's cabin altitude is the lowest in its class at 5,800 feet. And this is the groovy bit. The aircraft's environmental control system also preserves a sea level cabin altitude while flying under 27,000 feet. And the NAA has confirmed that this flight set a US speed record, and the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, some French one I'm guessing, has certified that this flight set a world speed record.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Is that 0.83?
That's a route that not many people go on, Portland to Farnborough.
No, yes.
Not unless you're rich. You can afford to fly on.
It's a minimal route.
On the 450.
Indeed,
Mach 0.83 is that? I take it that I'm guessing that's a bit faster than the 135s do.
Yeah. Ours is 0.78. So 0.83 is definitely a bit more. But the cabin altitude is quite impressive to maintain. It goes up to 42,000 feet. I said.
Yeah, 2,700 or 27,050 feet. As long as they're below that, the cabin altitude is at sea level.
Wow.
That's
sea level pressurization. So I'm thinking that might be a good plane for aeromedical stuff.
Sure. And at the highest, it only gets up to 5,800, so that's still very good.
Yeah, ours is normally about 8,000.
Yeah.
And then when you start a rapid rate of descent, 3,000 feet a minute, you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So cool. I love it when we've got people that know what they're talking about on the show. It's marvellous.
just leave them to get on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So not really. I just trying to get away with it.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah.
So the next story is on the traveller.com.au
that makes it Australian, mate. Good day, mate.
And it's a story, actually, that I didn't think I'd see not anytime soon, but Emirates Airlines to offer premium economy on their new A380s from 2020.
Wow.
So Emirates is to launch a premium economy class on its aircraft from 2020, according to its president Tim Clark, which could help the carrier attract more higher spending travellers. Premium economy costs more than economy class tickets but less than business class. Its introduction by Emirates could increase competitive pressure on rival Gulf airlines such as Qatar Airways and Etihad Airways. Premium economy will be on the A380s that Emirates ordered this year, of which the first 6 will be delivered in 2020. Clark said in a company podcast on its website. He should have come on this one. It's far better. Dubai-based Emirates brought 20 Airbus A320s in January this year, and it has purchase options for an additional 16, which it said would buy. They also said that we will be installing premium economy into those, and it will be an Emirates premium economy, so it will be special, Clark said in a podcast released this month. Premium economy often includes more legroom and other benefits at a high cost compared to standard economy class fare, but it's cheaper than business class or first class tickets. Emirates has considered adding premium economy since at least 2016 as lower oil prices dented Middle East travel demand, and the product could woo price-sensitive corporate travellers. In November last year, Emirates introduced new Mercedes-Benz influenced first-class private suites on its 777 jets. I sat in those at the Dubai Air Show. Very nice.
Did you?
The airline last refreshed its A380s occurred in March 2017 with a revamp of its onboard bar for first and business class passengers. The changes included replacing bench seating with chairs and tables and the introduction of soundproof curtains. Other airlines that offer premium economy products include Al Nippon Airways and Qantas, and British Airways as well. Obviously, Neville always flies first, not premium. Here are the typical features that passengers could expect when flying in premium economy. So more legroom is obviously one of the ones that you could get with a pitch of 96.5 centimetres, which is about 5.2 centimetres more than what economy class passengers get on the same flight. You could also have a wider seat, so going some sort of between 48.3 and 49.5 centimetres wide, which is at least 3.8 centimetres better than long-haul economy class seats. Also, premium economy seats offer footrests and seat reclines of about 20 centimetres, giving a slightly flatter lie-down than the best economy seats. Dedicated check-in counters as well would be another big thing, and a bigger in-flight entertainment screen. So that'd be quite nice. Oh, and a larger table so you can work on, and obviously more room for food.
It's all about the food.
It's all about the food, yeah. It'd be interesting to see. I haven't got any pictures of what this could possibly look like, but it'll be interesting to see how they put a premium economy package together, because me and Adrian Meacham flew with Air Canada to Pittsburgh, the air show last year, and we flew premium economy with Air Canada, and it was a lot different. The seats were different, the screen, everything was different to the economy who were sitting behind us. But it
Don't make it sound quite so common.
I know. But it was there is quite a big difference between the premium economy and economy on most airlines. But given the option, it's still cheaper to go economy, unfortunately.
It is, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, let's not forget our Lord and Master, the legend that is Sir Neville of Bounds, has recently just done exactly that to Las Vegas.
Yes, he flew.
He did. Cattle class is one way of describing. I've just looked at myself for the first time in the camera. My hair is in such a mess. I'm so sorry.
A premium economy package, Steph.
Premium economy?
Yeah, good.
I'm trying to think if I've ever flown in a premium economy.
I
don't think so.
I flew to Pittsburgh, and my flight to Pittsburgh was premium economy on United.
Steph always flies first or business.
Well, of course, absolutely.
Well, it's either economy or business or first. If I can't figure out how to make it business or first class, I'd generally just go with economy.
Stuart, with the airline you fly for, do you have just all economy, or do you have a kind of divide?
We have business and first class seats.
Really? Oh, do you?
Yeah, but all they do is that they have a different little cover that sits on the back of the seat that says business or first class.
Right. Okay.
Oh, okay. What? So the seats aren't different.
Yes.
A different coloured headrest.
So the difference is essentially decided by the quality of snack and beverage that's brought round to you. Essentially,
exactly. Yeah, they do get hot meals.
Yeah.
So,
And
we always hope the crew always hope that the business passengers aren't hungry, so we can have a hot meal.
Right.
they get free adult beverages as well in those cabins.
Yeah. Oh no, on our flights they all get free drinks. But yeah, the business guys get well looked after.
Indeed, absolutely. Okay, on to the next story. This is on The Economist, theeconomist.com, and the headline is "A Hungarian startup could beat Ryanair at its own low-cost game." So Wizz is poised to attack the Irish carrier's strongholds in Western Europe. Oh, this could be quite an exciting story, couldn't it? So just a few hundred metres from Budapest's airport runways, the wails of scorched airline passengers echo around an industrial estate, but no real people are being harmed. Here, Wizz Air, a rapidly growing Hungarian carrier, trains cabin crew and pilots in evacuating its planes safely. Last year, the airline recruited 1,000 new staff, twice as many as the year before. In February, construction work started on a bigger training centre to teach an extra 1,400 cabin crew it will need next year. That's an awful lot of extra cabin crew, isn't it? If anyone will be burned by this expansion, it will be Europe's cheapest airline, Ryanair. Over the past 2 decades, its chief executive, Michael O'Leary, turned the Irish Minnow into Europe's biggest carrier by copying the low-cost model of Southwest, an American budget airline. It has long had no-frills rivals such as EasyJet and Norwegian, but these have been able to match Ryanair's low-cost base. Yet, after Wizz's first full year of results on the 24th of May, in which it reported record profits, analysts say that the carrier is about to do just that on the basis of costs incurred each available kilometre, a measure that takes into account distance flown. Wizz is now launching an assault on Ryanair's Western European strongholds. Already the biggest airline in Eastern Europe, Wizz has aimed to expand across the entire continent since the start, says Joseph Varet, who is the founder and chief executive. Apologies if I've said that wrong. Its first flight from Katowice in Poland to London in May 2004 came just weeks after the Hungary joined the EU, which allowed its airlines to fly anywhere within the bloc. So far, it has focused on flights between Eastern and Western Europe. Booming flows of migrants and tourists on these routes have increased its passenger numbers from 14 million in 2014 to over 28 million last year. That's a huge jump, isn't it? Anyway, the story goes on, but yeah, basically it's massive growth, and I don't know, if I were Mr. O'Leary, I'd be keeping a very tight eye on proceedings. I
was just looking up some quick facts on Wizz, because Wizz, they're based in Hungary. Started in 2003, and at the moment they're seeing quite large revenue and net income. Their net income is 246 million.
Really?
That was last year. Yeah, they're doing really well, Wizz are. 96 aircraft in the fleet, 144 destinations, and all around Europe.
Yeah.
And their current fleet is all Airbus. All Airbus.
Oh, wow.
A320s, A321s they've got. Yeah. And they've also got some A321 Neos on order, which are going to be being delivered next year. But no, it's good to have some competition, especially low-cost competition around here.
I don't think they can, they physically can't, surely they can't physically make the flights any cheaper. But, I mean, maybe what it'll do is drive up standards a little bit. Maybe, maybe that's the thing it's going to do. So, you fly with one. I mean, and certainly the present that I've got here that's just on Carlos's camera here, look, this is this particular company. Thank you very much to Lisa and Leaf, by the way. That's their present that they got me when they came back. That company, Jet 2, they are doing exactly that, aren't they? And they've had a marvellous experience flying with Jet 2, and in fact, didn't we read a story last week, didn't we, where it was they'd won the Which report for best customer service, like just.
And I also work with someone who's just got back from holiday with those last week as well, and he also said that he had a fantastic flight. The crew were amazing, and the service was was first class.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Jet 2, which we did sort of bash Jet 2 a bit. In previous before.
Well, but, no. To be fair, we weren't bashing Jet 2.
Just the stories.
We were just bashing the morons that were getting drunk on their aeroplanes, and that's not really their fault, is it? It's Stuart, have you flown with Jet 2? Oh, he seems to have disappeared.
Yeah, Stuart? I think we lost Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart's disappeared.
Stuart's disappeared.
Yeah, okay.
Oh
no, here he comes. There he is. Hello, sorry, Stuart. Have you flown with Jet 2?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can indeed, mate. Yeah, have you flown with Jet 2 at all as a passenger?
Jet 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Jet 2. Yeah, I flew with them last year, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were just saying when you dropped offline there, the couple of people that we know have been flying that, and they were saying it's like, the prices are like they are if you were flying with Ryanair, but, essentially the customer service experience seems to be a lot better.
Yeah, they're all very friendly and quite helpful as well. They've got and they pay to have people in the airport who point you in the right direction and look after you.
Yeah.
So it's more than just a low-cost airline, Jet 2.
Yeah, they're sort of trying to sort of give you the low cost, if you like, with the good old customer service. As I say, I see that's where this Wizz and WoW thing. I think and I certainly from knowledge, from what I know about Wizz, their ability, if you like, to they're getting their customer service right, and if they're going to do similar prices to Ryanair, I mean, as I say, surely all it's going to do is drive up standards. That's what we hope.
No, I think it's a race to the bottom, to be honest.
Oh, fair enough.
And there's your bubble burst.
And that's it. Yeah, I know. I like my little fluffy world that I live in.
I think things kind of come in spurts where one company, one airline will do a really good job of it for quite a while.
10 minutes.
And then it just falls off because no one else is
I think
doing
perhaps when you're this way in July, Steph, for Farnborough, I think perhaps while you're here, just have a quick flight on a Ryanair flight. Just go somewhere.
Just
do we not like Steph all of a sudden? Is that what's going on?
I thought we actually liked Ryanair.
Yeah. Well, I do, but that's only because I'm getting on an aeroplane with them tomorrow. So yeah.
Listen, I have flown on Allegiant here in the U.S.
Oh, they're a good airline, aren't they?
And you know what? I actually had a very nice experience with them, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But that was several years ago at this point. So.
Well, it can be. I must admit, as I say, apart from the ones that put me off flying, and that was just one flight, I must admit I've not really had bad experices with Ryanair.
No.
But then I'm not expecting anything either. I think that's half the trouble.
But I mean, it's all about setting your expectations, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of these really bad passenger reviews come into play because people have just set their expectations for something that's completely unrealistic.
Yeah, just crazy, not realistic in any way.
I think the only thing that lets Ryanair down is a priority boarding system, but that is basically down to the airport, not the airline, because it's when they let the passengers through the gate to the aircraft. They kind of just let everyone get on at the same time, regardless of whether you're priority boarding or not. So.
Oh, the airline doesn't control that?
No, it's done at the gate
by the airline in the U.S.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
So moving on to the next story then, Steph.
Yeah, so we were talking about upgrades earlier. This is an interesting one from the breakingnews.ie, so I guess an Irish site. The headline is 8 of the most ridiculous requests for airline upgrades. So they start off by saying, even in today's improved economy cabins, air travel can still be a little bit of a chore. How many of us have stepped on board and looked longingly left as business class travelers swan towards their flatbeds and flutes of champagne? I usually just join them. So, no, I'm just kidding. The ideal is, of course, I think they meant to say blag an upgrade at the airport. And although it's much tougher to secure these days, dreams do still come true sometimes. To announce the launch of their new reward credit card, which allows members to choose from upgrades and companion seats based on spending. So this is about Virgin Airlines is offering random passengers the opportunity to shift up a cabin. And apparently they were slow-mo filming their responses and posting them to their Twitter accounts. So I think some of those were quite hilarious if you get a chance to head over there and check those out. So here's, we're going to skip down here because this is the fun part of this article. People who have gone to great lengths to try and secure a upgrade at the airport for their flight. So Julie Challenger, who's worked for Virgin Atlantic at London Heathrow for 15 years, shares some of the most outlandish requests that she's heard. Number 1, a gentleman requested an upgrade so he wouldn't have to sit next to his wife. I think that's very...
that's a bit rude,
I think that's probably just the most common one, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's normally what happens, yeah, absolutely.
Number 2, a young man hoped he would an upgrade would mend his broken heart after being dumped on his birthday. Oh, that's just sad.
I feel very sorry for him.
I don't know about an upgrade, but maybe a free drink would be.
Yeah, might be the way forward. Yeah.
Number 3, a father traveling with his family wanted to be upgraded as his baby was teething and he wanted a good sleep. Needless to say, his wife was not impressed. Number 4, a lady asked for an upgrade as she wanted to get to her destination quicker. Someone needs to tell her that all the seats go to the same place at the same time. You may get off the aircraft maybe a few minutes earlier. Number 5, a very famous magician, name not given, offered to perform magic tricks for the crew in return for an upgrade.
Aww. See, now I'd have let him do that. I
might have gone for that one.
I would have let him do that, I have to be honest, but that's just me.
Well, did it depend on how good the magic trick was?
Good point. Yes, had they thought of that? Yeah, absolutely. If it's a rubbish rabbit magic trick, then no, you may not. If you successfully saw one of my cabin crew in half, then yes, you may.
Number 6. I love number 6, Steph.
Number 6. A businessman asked for an upgrade as he was in economy, but his boss was in premium. He wanted an upgrade to upper class so that he could wave at his boss from the bar.
It's right. Rude.
Number 7, one gentleman requested an upgrade so that he could try out the onboard hot tub.
The what now?
No.
The onboard hot tub?
I don't think there's any onboard hot tubs. I think he was confused with private aircraft as opposed to...
Hang on a minute. You can have a hot tub on a private aircraft?
Probably.
I think I've seen some on some Boeing business jets. But
really?
Yeah,
wow.
To be a big business jet.
I mean, yeah, just like a tiny little tub of hot water, I guess. I don't know why not.
My. Oh,
and then finally, number 8, one businessman requested an upgrade so that he could meet Richard Branson and pitch an idea to him on board.
Wow. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a
brave
what
move.
is the solution if you're looking for a upgrade? According to the airline, no matter how much you smile and joke, getting an upgrade is tricky. The best and cheapest way to do it is by saving air miles by frequent flying or spending with a member credit card. Actually, I'll say that. I mean, I have a couple airline credit cards, and that's probably the quickest way to either reward travel, free flights, or upgrades. If you treat that as kind of your cash and just pay it off regularly, you can really accrue some miles pretty quickly that do add up and do get you some benefits. So that's generally what I do.
Definitely the way forward.
Isn't there like a secret club, Stuart, as a pilot where you can, an airline pilot, you can like be in this club and get upgrades whenever you want one?
Well, no, I've never had one. I've heard that the cabin crew have told me that they've sometimes deliberately boarded late on an aircraft, and then they've given like a box of chocolates or some sweets to the crew and say, "Oh, thanks very much," and then they kind of hover, hoping they get an upgrade, and maybe 50% of the time it works. But I don't know. I've never tried anything cheeky. I've tried charming girls at check-in desks, and that's never worked.
Okay. I must admit, I do know someone who does do it. I do know a cabin crew who does do exactly that. Will always bribe the cabin crew with chocolates and sweets.
And did they get an upgrade?
I don't think they were necessarily... didn't get an upgrade, but they got preferential treatment once they were on board, and the occasional gratuitous beverage of... I think it's well. Let's put it this way. I think it pays to be nice to your cabin crew in general. I think
I can definitely say it does. It always works for me.
Yeah.
In all the years that I've flown.
Yeah, but you see, you're a man. You're a guy who is so unbelievable. You don't realise how lucky you are in life sometimes, young man. You just like. It's like the most. You are honestly, the charm just oozes out of you. It's nauseating. It's physically nauseating. Whenever you go anywhere, it's just like sometimes I have to walk away and just like hide because I'm so.
It's nice. There's honestly there's a way the way that you can talk to the crew and stuff to give you perks, and I don't know. I just have that. Banter, I should say.
Natural ability.
It comes from being a DJ. But no, the only upgrade that we ever had was with Emirates and stuff, and that was through asking. at the desk.
Really? Did you actually got an upgrade on Emirates?
No, that was ages ago. That was for the honeymoon. That was years ago. But
we weren't doing the show then, were we?
That way,
no.
just say you're on honeymoon and then you get an upgrade.
And basically that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm sure no one ever uses that.
Yeah, I was going to say, and unfortunately, my next flight.
But we were actually. That was actually real.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know that.
But other than that, we're lucky now in the way that when we fly long haul, whether it be with BA or Virgin or anyone like that, that we've got various friends in various places, as we know, doing the show. But not only that, when we flew BA a few years back to Oman and we flew in economy, I should say, we got talking to one of the senior purser on the aircraft, and she came from Dereham, which is
just
about
up the road from you.
3/4 of an hour drive that way.
Yeah,
and as soon as we
got the road from me as well.
As soon as we got talking to her, and we chatting about various bits and pieces. Next thing you know, the champagne comes out. We have first class amenity kits. We've got pajamas and stuff like that given to us, and we got royally looked after for the entire flight.
Wow. Get you
with all the people looking around us thinking, who the hell are these people getting champagne?
Getting all this champagne.
What's going on here?
Absolutely. Oh, well,
there we go. It's always. I think it's always worth just asking. I think, even though the story here says it's pointless, but. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. It's just, you try it every time you go on a flight, don't you, Carlos? Let's
yes,
be honest.
I know.
Yeah.
So Stuart, the next story is actually featuring one of these particular types of aircraft.
Oh dear. Oh, right. Not that company.
No, not the company, but the type.
What, this one? Honeywell Boeing?
That's the one.
Okay. Honeywell's Boeing plane testing out new aviation technology. This is on Fox News. There's a video here, but maybe I should have watched that. In Phoenix, one can call this Boeing 757 a test lab in the sky. It is one of many planes that Honeywell has in their fleet, which is based at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. The plans are used to try out new technologies that Honeywell is developing. Sorry, the planes, that's their spelling mistake. Everything inside the airline has been stripped out. Instead of seats, there are a number of engineer stations. Technologies being checked out of these test flights could eventually make it onto a commercial flight. As soon as the 757 reaches cruising altitude, engineers in the back of the plane get to work. We can use this aircraft to take just about any product we make up airborne, said test pilot Joe Duval. Get it up into the environment. It's going to be used for any consumer out there, and beat it up or put it through its paces and get it all tested. The plane can be changed or retrofitted to run all sorts of tests on any technology Honeywell is developing. For example, an additional engine mounted on the side of the plane was not used to power the plane, but for testing purposes. So there's a picture beside this with a kind of ugly looking engine cowling on the top right hand side of the plane sticking out. But yeah, we can literally accomplish anything because it's what we style a generic flying test bed, said Duval. The plane is also equipped with Honeywell's new JetWave in-flight Wi-Fi system. Before it made its way to the consumer, the system was tested in the plane all over the world. We're using it today, said Duval. It's on a number of airlines. It works all over the world. It's high-speed broadband Wi-Fi in any plane we put it on. We've been testing it a number of years, and it's been very successful. I think you guys need that for this podcast.
Hey.
Honeywell is also testing weather radar systems, as well as something called Smart Landing and Smart Runway, which makes sure pilots are taxiing, landing, and taking off where they should be. That's one of the big causes of accidents. Honeywell's officials say it's all about making flying safer and more efficient for everyone. And yeah, that's it.
I was looking at the pictures. If you go on to Google, you can actually Google the aircraft that Honeywell used, the 757. And it's amazing, actually, when you look at some of the pictures, some of the stuff they stick on, you can probably see on the screen now, the sort of additional lumps and bumps they stick on this aircraft to test out, new engines and bits and pieces like that. And the actual video, there's an actual video on the website as well, which you can watch. I think Matt's running it now. There we go. Yeah. That you can see on board the aircraft, and it's quite interesting to see the aircraft stripped out with all the interior coverings taken away, so you can actually see what's behind
the gubbings of the heart of the machine.
Machine itself.
Yeah, bizarre, isn't it? Really clever.
But the actual aircraft itself is N registered, but it's the actual registration is November 757 Hotel Whiskey.
Oh wow!
But it's great to see this particular. I mean, obviously the 757 is an awesome bit of kit. I think we all love the 75. But yeah, what a job flying around testing stuff on board there.
Well, I don't know. It could be a lot of stuff to go wrong on it as well, to be honest. But yeah.
He does have a point.
He does have a point. So moving on to...
it's just additional technologies, right? It's not the aircraft itself.
No.
Everything else they're testing out.
I know, but so many things can go wrong, so he's... Oh, I don't know. I don't know how you guys do it for a I don't know how I still don't understand flying. And don't get me started on helicopters. Oh, my goodness.
No one really understands how those work.
No.
They are magical, mythical beasts. That's what they are.
So the next story is on the dailypost.co.uk website, and the headline on there is "The Elegant Airbus Penthouse Cabin Offering World Above the World." So a master bedroom, lounge and showers are among the features on offer for high-flying long-haul passengers. Airbus...
Now, I saw this in the show notes. I thought you were going to start showing some extra adult material.
Oh, hello.
So Airbus has unveiled its penthouse class cabin for high flyers, complete with holographic globe, master bedroom. There are actually pictures for this story.
All right, okay,
holographic globe, master bedroom, lounge, showers, and a conference table.
Is that your subtle way of saying, hurry up, put the pictures up?
No, not really. Right? Airbus Corporate Jets is aiming to elevate the long-haul flight experience for customers with a new luxury concept which aims to go beyond business class. Initially proposed for the new ACJ 330neo family, Harmony can also suit other Airbus wide-bodies such as the ACJ 350 XWB. The Airbus plant at Broughton in Flintshire, here in the UK, assembles the wings for the company's aircraft, with the exception of the Chinese A320s. Long-haul flights provide time for productive work and socialising as well as rest, and the ACJ's Harmony cabin concept is wonderfully well designed to enable all of these, while bringing the world within a single flight, said ACJ's president, Binot Defrage. So Harmony is a timeless and elegant design concept, because we dare to break the conventions that are traditionally imposed on us as cab designers. Our creativity needs to be unique to fit the needs of our customers, as benefits hosts receiving their guests in the world above the world, he added. Holographic globe, that does look really quite interesting actually. So the holographic globe, which shows the aircraft position, initially greets passengers entering the aircraft. Turning left leads to a master bedroom, office and bathroom, while turning right brings travellers into a spacious lounge area with seating grouped around tables that encourage social interaction. Ditch the phones, in other words.
Good luck with that.
I know. Just beyond the lounge is a conference table, and beyond there are 4 VIP guest suites, each featuring an office that converts into a bedroom, plus an ensuite bathroom with shower. Seating for support staff and a galley make up the rear of the cabin, which can be adapted to serve both private and government customers. Company bosses said all of the corporate jet versions have intercontinental capability, with some such as the ACJ 330neo and ACJ 350 extra bodied family, like XWB, going beyond to deliver non-stop to the world range. More than 190 Airbus corporate jets are in service on every continent, including Antarctica, highlighting their versatility around the clock, around the world. Now, just looking at the pictures there, Matt, on here.
Yes. No, they have seen him.
It is. It does.
The globe
look nice.
thing looks amazing. Yeah.
The globe, the holographic globe, looks awesome. Yeah. I think we definitely need one of those in here.
Right. Okay. All right. Baby steps, please, Carlos.
I know.
I'm still sort of holding everything together with shoestrings at the moment while we're trying to get this.
But the sofas look quite comfy.
There's your globe thing again.
Yeah, I do like that.
The holographic globe is cool, but really, do we need that?
No. I mean, no, okay. Sometimes
the point is just because you can.
I mean, sometimes a flat screen, showing your position on the in the world, is probably enough. Is it not?
I would think so, but maybe they're just trying to do their best to counteract the flat earthers and all their theories. That
right, yes, of course, there is that.
You have a flat screen.
Yes.
You get some of those flat
Actually,
earthers.
it does show the trajectory as well, just looking at it closely.
Yep.
I thought it was just a round globe, but it's actually got the trajectory of the plane.
Oh, I see, yes,
yeah. It's quite cool.
That is actually quite... I've just...
Kids would love it.
Yeah, absolutely. As you were saying, yeah. Sorry, I hadn't noticed. If you look closely, boys and girls, if you are watching on YouTube, if not, then what is the story? What is the website on?
It's on the dailypost.co.uk, and the story.
What are they searching for?
The elegant Airbus Penthouse cabin.
So if you want to have a look at it, but if you look, you can see the little
plane
trajectory, the plane sort of showing you as part of the holiday. That's quite cool. Yeah. All right. The geek in me, I'm afraid, Steph, now disagrees with you. And yes, yeah, we need to do more with holograms. I've decided.
Okay. So do you have any IFE on your aircraft, Stuart, or is it just iPads and whatever?
There's no moving maps or entertainment. I'm afraid it's entertain yourselves. But they're normally quite short flights. I mean, the longest flight's only 2 hours. Most of them are about an hour 20.
Yeah.
So Matt, next story. Is,
I knew you were going to say that.
I know. Well, the next story, just to get you going, is on the Bloomberg.com website. Okay,
yeah, and it is. It should be one for Nev, but obviously he's not here. And it says, it's on the Bloomberg.com website, and the headline is: BA said to suspend A380 talks in test to new. What? Hang on. To suspend A380 talks in test to new Airbus sales chief. Ooh. I say, bit of politics. British Airways owner IAG SA has suspended negotiations with Airbus SE over a possible deal for an additional A380 Super Jumbos, a potential setback for the already struggling programme. And Airbus's new sales chief, according to people familiar with the matter, the carrier had been weighing an order for close of 10 of the double-deckers, after Airbus managed to secure a critical flow-on deal earlier this year from Emirates, the plane's biggest customer. So the discussions have been put on hold amid IAG's frustration with Airbus, in particular delivery delays on the A320neo narrow-body, the people have said. Talks may still be revived at a later stage, one of the people said. Well, let's be honest, that's not likely going to happen, is it? They're going to look for a different aircraft, aren't they, I suppose? For new Airbus sales, Chief Eric Schulz said the development is an early test of his ability to replicate the success of his predecessor John Leary, who retired in February after more than 2 decades and more than $1 trillion in sales. The sales shake-up at Airbus and its strained bargaining position on the A380 has given BA parent IAG an opportunity to play the European manufacturer against its arch-rival Boeing. So a spokesman for the IAG declined to comment when contacted. A spokesman for Airbus declined to comment on confidential talks with customers. IAG Chief Executive Officer Willie Walsh has already come down on Airbus since Schulz took over, saying publicly that the plane maker needed to be more aggressive on A380 pricing. Earlier this month, he took another swipe at Toulouse, France-based manufacturer, telling analysts that talks on a separate wide-body deal for IAG's new discount long-haul operation was looking particularly positive for Boeing. We continue to be in dialogue with Boeing and Airbus on wide-body aircraft, Walsh said at IAG's first quarter earnings on May the 4th. We found them, that's Boeing, to be particularly constructive, in the dialogue between having them late. Oh dear.
Yeah, but BA were originally, they were going to have some more of these 380s and stuff, right. Some brand new ones, but they were looking at possibly buying aftermarket or second-hand A380s. But yeah, just looking on their site and that, and they're definitely not ordering any more A380s. They're going to stick with the 12. They've got 12 in their fleet. BA have.
But there is some. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's because it's 4 engines and not efficient and all that. Well, but. There is something quite magical about the A380. No? Just me? Anybody else been on an A380, Stu? Have you been on an A380?
Yeah. No, I've been on an A380, yeah. Good plane.
Yeah.
I think BA, they will eventually get them again. And I think this is just their stalling for a bit of business clout with the new sales director.
Yeah.
But
give me a bigger
in the future,
discount,
because of the slot constraints at Heathrow, and there's no third runway for a while, they're going to have to get them in the next 5 years.
True.
Because they're just running out.
They're just running out of capacity, essentially. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So the list price on those is $446 million.
Wow.
List price. So
list price, right? List price. Who pays list price?
Yeah, no one pays list price.
Has anybody ever paid list price?
Don't
Only
know
a
if you're
sucker.
rich.
Yeah.
Well, we'll never know.
No, this is true. This is true, indeed.
I guess that's the other thing. They're stalling it because they're probably saying they want the same price that Emirates paid.
Of course, yeah. Mind you, Emirates have had a lot more to be fair,
They've still got loads on order as well. Don't forget, Emirates have got that big order with Airbus for all those new shiny new A380s that are coming online later this year. So.
Yeah, indeed. What is it? Andrew Wilson in the chat room here, he's saying that I always thought the A380 was a good choice for BA since they are slot limited at Heathrow, which is what Stuart was saying here. Yep. And Nev's been chipping in sort of saying that it would be Andrew, but I don't think they're getting the load factors they need in business class to make it viable, which is a good point. So you can always rely on the list.
If Boeing's being more constructive in dialogue, then maybe they should take another look at the 747. So.
Ooh. What do they still make the 747?
Yeah, the Dash 8, the new Dash 8 is obviously very much still in production. Okay. But it's not been taken. It's not been as popular.
That's the passenger version.
It's the passenger version. Yeah.
But the twin-engine large narrow bodies are more efficient, aren't they?
Oh, so sure, like the
787s. You can run two of them at the cost of a Dreamliner of a 74.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Well, there we are. Okay. Yes. Well done, everyone.
I was actually trying to find out how many of those are on order with Emirates, but I just can't find the info on here at the moment. But
I think they ordered another 30, haven't they?
Oh, 30.
So they can carry on production for another 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, delivery starting in 2020. Yeah, for the new ones. So moving on to the next story, and Dr. Steph.
Yep. So this is from Flight Global, flightglobal.com.
We like Flight Global.
What's that?
We like Flight Global. It's an actual accredited aviation news source.
Yes. So, headline is JetGo enters administration, suspends scheduled flights. Regional carrier JetGo Australia has suspended scheduled services after entering voluntary administration on the 1st of June. A statement from administrators Jonathan McLeod and Bill Karagozis says that the carrier will continue to operate limited charter services while scheduled services will be suspended for the duration of the administration period. There has been no indication of how much creditors are owed, with further details expected to be released at a later time. Flight Global schedules show that, at the time it entered administration, JetGo was operating flights from Brisbane and Melbourne to regional centres in New South Wales and Queensland. It had also planned to launch flights from Brisbane to Karratha in August, with the intention of extending those to Singapore in the future under an agreement with the city of Karratha. Its fleet consists of 2 Embraer ERJ-135s, 2 ERJ-140s, and 1 ERJ-145. Fleet Flights Analyzer showed that 4 of these jets are owned by the airline, while the ERJ-145 is leased from Regional One. JetGo had also been due to take delivery of an E-190 in July that was to be used on the Karratha services, but that now appears unlikely. The privately owned carrier had reportedly been banking on an equity infusion by a new investor, but it appears that did not eventuate. Managing Director Paul Broderick had previously told staff in an email that it was working with consultants on ways to boost its cash flow in the absence of the new investment. So, more airlines with money problems. Sounds like maybe not quite as much as
Indeed.
Air India, but yeah.
Indeed.
Pretty small operation going on there. They had 5 aircraft.
Yeah, I was just looking up JetGo. They only started actually in 2011 operations, so quite a young.
Yeah, not been going long.
Not been going long. Yeah.
No, I mean it's a shame, obviously but obviously the model hasn't worked, hasn't it? Has it? That's what it sort of boils down to.
Well, I was a bit gutted to see this story because they were actually advertising for Embraer pilots, and I was thinking about putting an application in soon.
Oh, right, yeah, maybe don't.
Not a good idea.
Not right now, anyway.
Yeah. I think you may be a bit disappointed.
One of the operators that was giving Australian visas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they've reduced the restrictions. So one of the few ways you can get a visa for Australia.
Was going with it, but not now, I assume.
No, not now. No.
Probably not.
Indeed, it's probably unlikely. Yeah.
Just looking at some of the destinations they go to in New South Wales, and they go to Wagga Wagga.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Wollongong.
Wagga Wagga. and Wollongong.
Oh dear.
And Dubbo.
I think they still make quite a good, reasonable return on charter flights, though, because they do a lot of the mining flights. Those are mining destinations. They're not your holiday destinations.
No. No.
Gotcha.
No.
So the last story then, and Stuart, this one's another toilet-based story then.
Oh dear.
Is it? Which one's this one?
Okay,
yeah. American Airlines debuts tiny bathrooms. This one?
Oh dear.
That's it. That's the one.
Sounds worrying.
So, what is this website? Con2?
Oh, KHO. It's Honolulu.
No,
yeah, it's a local.
To be honest with you, Stuart, sometimes it pays not to ask where Carlos got the story from in the first place.
No, this is a local news.
Oh right, okay.
Honolulu.
Steph knows.
I do worry about where he goes for his news stories sometimes. I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah. So this is all about the toilets on American Airlines. First the seats, or should I say water closets for the Americans. First the seats, then the overhead bins. Now an airline is shrinking something else on board its planes: the bathrooms. American Airlines has debuted a tiny new restroom that is just 24 inches wide.
It's 2 feet.
2 feet, but that's most of us out, isn't it? The airline has received complaints from travel bloggers, consumer advocates, and even flight attendants, but to no avail. The restrooms are installed on the new Boeing 737 MAX aeroplanes. American is also planning to decrease the front-to-back space between some of its economy class seats by another 2 inches. The new MAX jets will have 172 seats, American said, compared to 160 on its existing 737-8s. While these new single aircraft will go into use later this year and will primarily be flown on routes in North America.
I was just trying to sit here and think how wide 24 inches is for a bathroom.
Not very.
That's not very wide.
No.
I think I've been in porta potties that are wider than 24 inches.
Wow. I was going to say that the toilet in your caravan, Matt, is...
the toilet,
it's bigger than that.
The toilet in my caravan is awesome. It means you don't have to go outside in the dark, which is my favourite thing not to do, frankly. But
24-inch wide bath. I mean,
indeed.
Yeah.
Well, there we are.
I suppose if you're only on a short internal flight that's only about an hour or half an hour or 45 minutes long, then that's not really much of a problem, really. But
no, indeed.
Well, no, it is, because if you need to use the toilet, you need to be able to get in it.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, given the sizes that you've mentioned, I'm the first to admit that I'm a rather rotund gentleman. It's 24 inches doesn't sound like I don't know if I'll be able to get my calf in. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get a leg in there, to be fair. I mean, Steph will be all right because there's nothing to her.
Yeah, but that's still not good. I mean, and I'm thinking, so these are going to be the 737 MAX airplanes. You're talking about short flights, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I bet they'll use them on longer routes than that. Certainly.
Dear.
I think, Matt, you're going to have to take the tape measure on your Ryanair flight and measure the Ryanair toilet for the listeners for next week.
I'm not sure I want to take a toilet. I'm not sure I want to take a tape measure into the toilet with me. It's going to open a whole other can of worms.
I'm just thinking back to all the cosy flights I've had with Stuart on the 150.
There's no toilet on there.
No, there's no toilet on there.
You're getting me worried then. I'm thinking there's no toilet.
Yeah, I can say, what's going on now? Yeah, absolutely. Have you been going to the toilet?
No,
all right.
Just not when I've been flying with Stuart. No.
Yeah.
But it's definitely cosy, narrow, I should say, that cockpit on the Cessna 150. But
that is true.
Yeah. The 150 is 2 inches shorter than the 152. So yeah.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah, indeed.
So that was the last story in the commercial news segment this week. Everything's held up, Matt.
We haven't finished yet.
The studio's still in one piece. It's amazing.
It is, absolutely.
It's all still here.
It is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we have got coming up for you right now, then, we have got a very special little piece that Nev has put together.
He is in the chat room still as well, I noticed, absolutely. Oh, you must be stewed. You must be so tired. Go to bed.
But for those of you who obviously listen to the show, you'll know that last weekend me and Nev went over to Bruntingthorpe to the open day there, and we had a really great day. And like I said before, the weather was great. There were some awesome jets there, some real awesome jets. But we also got a chance to meet lots of really cool people. Honestly, Matt, you couldn't.
Really?
They were so generous with their time.
Oh,
the pilots and all the people who were
because they have one again in August, don't they?
Yeah, they do in August. There's no one in August.
Maybe I should try and get along.
I think Jonathan Warner is going to be going to that one again. But it was.
Well, if there's anybody you missed, perhaps you should give me
one of the highlights that you'll see in this quick video that Nev's put together is that not only did they have the kind of fighter jets like the Jaguar, the Lightning, and all the various sort of Cold War jets, fighter jets, they also had a fully functioning Comet.
Oh, wow.
Which most of you'll know was a passenger jet here in the kind of 50s and 60s, very, very popular, iconic jet, the Comet. But they had one of those doing a fast taxi run, which you'll see in the video.
Should we run the video and then?
Should we run the video?
We'll talk about it afterwards. Here we go.
So enjoy this.
If you're listening to this on the podcast, take yourself to www.youtube.com/c/Plane Talking UK and you can watch the video that's going out now. Said it before and I'll say it again. That is one nice muff right there.
I know. Just get all the muff jokes out of the way while we're here.
I mean, it's larger than I expected.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd be behaving ourselves. Yeah, and as I say, that really is just a little taster of some of the great interviews that are coming up in the coming weeks. But it's we're going to wait until Nev is back, I think, before we start sharing those with you. But,
I have to just point out as well, make a note of just saying a huge, massive thanks to Nev. Obviously, Nev was with me last week, and you know that camera, what Nev's got, is absolutely astounding. The quality when we play back the interviews and stuff, the quality is just it's eye-watering.
It is,
the quality.
Absolutely.
But no, we did have a really good time with the guys there.
Do you know the thing I'm most excited about? The fact that officially my days of needing to do lots of video editing are done. Nev has got it all sorted now. I'm fine.
Actually, do you know, Matt? You'll be impressed with this. Do you know one of the first places where Nev headed to when we got there?
At the ice cream stall, I hope.
No, the commentator's box.
Oh, really?
And Nev was inspecting his audio equipment.
Of course, absolutely.
And
as you do. Yeah.
Nev was. He was quite taken back, I think, with the standard of equipment there.
In a good way, or in a sort of rhetoric, sort of, you know,
in a retro way?
Okay, yeah.
No.
Fair enough. Yes, it's all right. It's all part of the fun. I mean, you know, it's we've only just sort of upgraded massively, to be fair, and that again has been thanks to the legend that is Sir Neville of Bounds.
Yeah,
indeed. So that really is a slightly shorter than usual show, I'm afraid, this week. Mainly my fault because of technical glitches here in the new studio. But I'm pleased to say that now we have it working. It is working absolutely beautifully. So
there's a Wi-Fi cam working now.
The Wi-Fi cam can be made. If you just give me a moment,
I'll give you a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Steph, what have you got up and coming in the
when's
week
the next
coming?
APG?
Oh, that's a good question. I was actually thinking about that and looking at the calendar. I know we decided, and I've forgotten, but I think I put it on my calendar. So, what did we say? It's sometime next week.
Yep. Sometime next week. That's really helpful. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. And
sometime in the middle of the week, I think.
So, and Stu, we were saying that you're obviously in Sweden at the moment. So, are you just on a temporary layer? Were you supposed to be there? Is it just something went horribly wrong?
No, it's not a broken plane or anything. Nope. I'm meant to be here for the week, and it's quite an adventure, really. It's nice to be here when the weather's good. It's 30 degrees and sunny, and
so
the only problem is pints cost £10.
How much?
And
£10 for a pint.
£10 for a pint.
For a pint. And I've been getting up most days at 3 a.m. But apart from that,
indeed, yeah. Well, I know absolutely. So, are you temporarily based there just for the week, literally?
Yeah, for this week. I'll be back again actually in a few more weeks. Normally we've got some crew that are based out here for several months at a time. But they're just, we're short crewed everywhere.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And well, I don't think you're the only airline that are experiencing exactly that as well, are you? It's like, you know, there's sort of shortages all over the place now. The summer schedules have all kicked in.
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So Carlos is currently holding our wireless camera. We've got a fancy wireless camera that we've also invested in. So he's going to give you a very quick guided tour of the studio. So here we go. There you are. So that's the wireless thing. Now, obviously, all the cables will be tidied up. This is just because it was all a bit of a mad dish. It was a lot tidier than this, and then obviously I had to try and get the thing to work. So yeah. So this is our new home. So if you up on the wall above our TV here, you can probably see. There we are, look. That is our marvellous gift that was given to us by the legend that is the airline pilot guy crew from the lovely Sir Captain Jeff and all that lot. It is just, it's a perfect addition to our studio. That would be me. Hello. Hi, everyone. And over there is where Carlos sits. So to hear, this is the wonderful gift from the legend that is Sir Neville of Bounds. This is the amazing Soundcraft sound desk that we're now using. And it makes life so easy for me because I can literally bring down all the faders. I can shut up Carlos, which is marvellous when he's doing my head in, and also just to have the control. So it's I love it. I just can't wait to be in here. Yeah, no, don't show them down there. That bit is only temporary. That was just like because we were trying to get in here. I was determined to get on get online in here today. So yeah, that's. That is the new studio. We are officially here, and I'm pleased to say that next week, I believe, unless plans have changed unexpectedly, that our guest in the studio next week will be Armando, is coming to join us in the studio live, all being well. So,
very nice.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that. So
seeing him on the show.
He will officially be our first studio guest, and then I just can't wait for Nev to come and have a look at it. Frankly, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased that we're in here and we've done a show from in here. Know. Yeah, we started an hour and a half late, but nevertheless we're in here.
I know.
It's amazing.
Well, Liz in the chat room did remind me, for those who are wondering about Airline Pilot Guy next week.
Ah, yes.
It's probably going to be earlier in the day.
Okay.
I think on Thursday.
Okay.
She reminded me that I have a meeting that day, which is also somehow not on my calendar anymore.
Oh dear.
But it hasn't changed, so
of course I forgot.
Look for that. I think probably Thursday the 5th. Or no, I'm sorry, that's the wrong date. I'm looking at the wrong. Thursday the 7th? Does that sound right? Yeah, Thursday the 7th.
Yeah.
Probably earlier in the day than usual for us.
Okay.
So might be good for
us.
In Europe
yeah,
land.
absolutely. Yeah, indeed. And Armando has just confirmed that he will be here next week. So it's the Saturday, isn't it? We're doing, because you're doing something on the Friday, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a Saturday.
You're busy on the Saturday. Yeah, I think that's why we ended up doing the Saturday show, as it were. But yes, so that is, as I say, slightly shorter than usual, so apologies for that. But we are here, we are in the new studio. I can't believe we've
Saturday.
actually
I've got a gig on Saturday night. Next Saturday, the 9th.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have got an anniversary disco at Ringsfield Village Hall.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting in a muddle then. Okay, all right. Well, we'll work out what it was. I'm sure there was a reason. Well, perhaps we're not. Perhaps we're doing it on Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We better find out from Armando. Armando, I need a chat with you. It seems right.
and do a disco in the new studio. At the same time.
No, we're not doing a disco in the new studio.
No, cozy disco.
It'd be very cozy. It's quite warm with just us in here, so we need to work on the
air conditioning.
Oh no, he'll be here Friday. That's fine. It's just me being a muppet. There's a shock. Okay. I'm so sorry. Right.
So just before we go, we're going to say a big thanks to Dr. Steph and Stuart as well.
And thank you guys for being so patient while I was having my technical nightmare.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's always fun to do a show with you guys.
And also, not forgetting all the lovely guys and girls in the chat room. Thanks for sticking with us on this Sunday. We're going to let you get back to your Sunday roasts, because I'm sure most of you will have a nice roast chicken or something going on, or roast beef or something. Oh, God, I'm feeling hungry now.
Yes. Actually, seriously, guys, Neil Landward's made a good point in the chat room here. Definitely need some pictures on that wall.
Yeah.
If anybody's got any nice pictures of planes and things, ideally, the first thing I'm desperate for, if anybody's got a really nice, and I mean really nice picture of a TriStar L1011 just to keep him over there happy, that would be great.
I have many.
But seriously, great ones that...
Actually, I was thinking about, while we were doing the show a minute ago and stuff like that, we've got this model here.
Yeah, and I've got my Ryanair one
I thought on top here, this is a bit of a...
Yeah, that's fine.
We can have sort of oh no. Oh,
honestly, he's broken. If
you break it,
the 7.5's just gone for a tumble.
Oh dear, it's upside down.
Is it upside down?
Will it fly like that? I don't know. Oh dear.
It's a 7.5. It's bulletproof.
It's bulletproof. It's 7.5. I don't like a 7.5.
That's what it is, mate. You read the box, honestly.
Oh dear. Sorry.
So where are you off to quickly this week, Stuart? Anywhere nice? Anywhere exciting?
Oh, he says.
Where am I going? Karlstad, Young Shopping, Frankfurt. Young Shopping, Frankfurt. Yeah, I'm back here again in a week's time.
Oh, wow.
I'm doing an exciting one. I'm doing the Pyrenees at the end of the month.
Ooh.
That's a new one. Yeah. A charter flight. Yeah, from East Mids to the Pyrenees. So that'll be interesting.
Oh, Neil Lamwan's got a nice picture of the TriStar that he's going to send to us if we give him an address. So
Richard King has got a nice picture of himself.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's not really what I was going for, but if you like,
perhaps we could have a montage.
We could have a montage on the door of people who've been here.
Yeah, or meetups and things like that. You should put photos from...
Yeah, good idea.
Carlos, you're in big trouble, by the way. I've just had a text message from Lee Hall, who was the guy who was here helping me with the studio along with Stuart before you got here, and you said he better not have broken the 7.5.
Oh.
You better check.
I better check.
Yeah, you better check, otherwise you're in a lot of trouble.
Anyway. None of the models from the restaurant are going to end up there, are they, I hope?
No, well that would be quite nice. Yeah. Stuart's saying, are any of the models from the restaurant going to end up here? Is there any... Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to get yourself a TriStar L1011 one, aren't you? Or have you got one at home?
I've got one
at home.
I've got a few.
You've got a few. Can one come and live in the studio?
What, the models? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, this is really quite a dull conversation. So we're going to finish things up here.
So we're going to say a massive thanks then to everyone who's joined us. Not forgetting all the people who download the show through the audio versions as well.
Very much so.
We obviously appreciate you guys listening to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that is it for episode number 219 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. And don't forget, catch us back again next Friday, where we'll be back on air again.
Normal
next
time,
Friday.
7
time, 7 p.m. And we'll hopefully have Armando sitting here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'd be awesome. So
looking forward to that.
So we better say goodbye then.
We had, so from all of us here in the studio and around the world, take care, everybody. Goodbye. Bye-bye.